Hi, hello, and welcome to my Ides of March book recommendations. We've got The Crown, we've got the Ides of March painting of Julius being killed in the back, and we've got the vibes, we've got the books. So yeah, let's get started. March 15th is the day that Julius Caesar was assassinated, stabbed 23 times, and honestly, I think he deserved it. A lot of people killed him because overall people just thought he was very rude, and they didn't like that he was sleeping with Cleopatra, and also that he was trying to become the king of Rome. But I don't like Julius Caesar because he ruined months. December used to be the 10th month, and now it's the 12th month because Julius wanted his own special month for him and his son. So shout out to July and August. Ruined my day, ruined my week. 13 people got together and they stabbed him to death 23 times, and now I celebrated with my friends by dressing up in a toga and getting drunk because honestly, I love an excuse to wear a toga-esque thing. So, but I have book recommendations for you. I didn't think that this was going to be as hard as it was. For some reason, I thought it would be very easy to find books about friends betraying people, but I really struggled. So if you guys have any recommendations that you feel fit the vibes of Ides of March, let me know, and then next year I'll put those in. Because I really struggled. For some reason, when I think of Ides of March, I think of dark academia gothic betrayals. So that's mainly what I have recommended to you all today. Let's start with the first one. First one I'm gonna recommend to you is a classic. It's The Secret History by Donna Tartt. I'm pretty sure most people have read this book at this time. It's really popular on TikTok, but hear me out, it's really popular for a reason. This book slaps. And to be fair, Julius Caesar vibes, I mean, it's probably one of the closest representations I can have to a Julius Caesar Caesarian plot. I don't even know if Caesarian plot is a word, but if I had to give you a book that I would be yes, this is the closest I can get you to a Julius Caesar retelling, this is what I would give you. It is about this group of kids in this Greek program in a rural school in Vermont. And one of them, where we find out within the first chapter, one of them dies for some reason. And you have to read along to try and figure out why they kill him. This book slaps, honestly. I listened to this book on audiobook on my drive up to Vermont because I used to live in Vermont, and truly it quickly became one of my favorite books. I understand why Book Talk is obsessed with this one because the vibes are immaculate. Just the dark academia pretentiousness of these friends, because only 5 of them are in this Greek major. It's very exclusive, and all of the friends have something going on that we're not quite sure about, so there's lots of intrigue. We're all trying to figure out what is the breaking point that makes them finally kill Bunny, and it's just hi. The vibes are immaculate, and I really think follows a Caesarian plot, right? We've got these friends who decide to kill one person because they find him a little obnoxious and that he's ruining everyone else's plans. Bunny might be one of my favorite characters to ever be written because he's awful. Wow, he's such a terrible character, but also he's written so well. I hated him. He said the worst stuff. I was not surprised they killed him. I would have killed him, honestly. He was just written in a way that every time he was mentioned, I was yes, let's go. So he's one of my favorite characters by far, but I don't blame them for pushing him off a cliff. I would have too. And so it was just interesting to read along and figure out what was the breaking point, because for me there were several. But Secret History by Donna Tartt, great start to the Ides of March. I would absolutely recommend, and I think it's such a great book. Again, I really struggle to find books that fit the vibes of Julius Caesar, but I would say this one was an easy one for me. Another book that I would recommend, which is very similar to The Secret History by Donna Tartt, is If We Were Villains. I didn't like this book, but a lot of people really like it, so I'm gonna put it on here because it also really does fit the plots of Julius Caesar. It's about this group of theater kids, and they have this one dude who's being extremely angry and very aggressive and rude to his friends, and then they end up finding him dead in a lake with his head bashed in. So it's about them both trying to figure out like which one of them did it, and also lying to the cops to protect everyone, and like that whole thing. I didn't like this book, but again, it's a really good book for Julius Caesar Ides of March vibe. Honestly, I mean, they're doing the Julius Caesar play and a friend stabs someone. It doesn't get more Ides than that. I used to be a theater kid, and honestly, I have never read more pretentious, annoying kids in my life. No theater kid just randomly quotes Shakespeare constantly. It just doesn't happen, but it's fine. People liked this book. I can see why people like this book, and if anything, why not put a hate read? We hate Julius Caesar and we hate this book, but regardless, I would recommend it with caution because I didn't like it, but also a lot of people do. It's really popular on Book Talk, and it's got the Caesarean plot, so give it a go. Next book I would recommend is Tripping Arcadia. I certainly picked this book up because, I mean, like, look at this cover. It's beautiful, let's be real. So that's the first reason why I picked this book up, but honestly, I really enjoyed it. It is about this girl, her name is Lena, and she's in Italy, and she is studying with her aunt in Italy, and her aunt is like an expert in poisons, ancient poisons. So she's got like a whole garden of poisonous plants and stuff like that. And she was just like studying in Italy with her and learning about herbology and like mixing plants to make poisons and stuff. And she has to go back to the States in Massachusetts, which I've been to Boston. Anyway, so she has to head back to Boston because her dad got laid off and they need her to come and help with the family. So she gets a job basically taking care of this rich family's sick son named Jonathan and helping out with like medication and stuff like that, when she finds out that this family is actually the reason her dad got laid off and the reason that she had to come back to Italy and be with her family, who she's not a huge fan of to begin with. So she decides to poison them slowly. That's the basic premise. This book honestly is like, it's messy. This book is chaotic. Like, I would say Caesarean plot-esque because, you know, there's like some betrayal and some intrigue and like a whole little murder plot. I would say it's very vague, but I was running out of books that I felt fit the vibe. So my camera died. Anyway, Tripping Arcadia loosely fits the vibes. It's, you know, it's got the energy. So I would recommend that for Ides of March because it's fun, it's gothic, it's murder, it's killing the rich, you know, we love it. I would recommend that. And then last but not least, I would recommend Julius Caesar by William Shakespeare. I have really grown to love Shakespeare now that I know that a lot of his plays are supposed to be a little dramatic and a little silly, and also now that I don't have to read them for high school. I've really grown to appreciate his work a lot more. So I mean, I feel like if you're gonna read anything for the Ides of March, you've gotta read Julius Caesar the play. It's short, it'll get your Goodreads numbers up. It's like a 1 to 2 day read, and it's just really easy and fun and a good time. It's not entirely accurate to the historical events, but that's okay, because like, it's dramatized. It's for the drama, it's for the fun, it's for the entertainment, you know? So I would absolutely recommend Julius Caesar by William Shakespeare because honestly, Shakespeare's very fun, and I think more people should appreciate him now that we don't have to read his work in high school. I'm sure a bunch of people who are like majoring in the classics and English literature right now are probably reading Julius Caesar by William Shakespeare, so if you are, good for you. But if you're not, you should read it. It's fun. It's a good time. I had another book that I was going to recommend to you guys called The Latinist, which is about a girl getting her PhD at Oxford that finds out that she's being sabotaged by her mentor slash professor. Cause when I read the cover, the like summary, I was like, this is perfect for the Ides of March. Incredible. And then I read it and it was like really, really bad. So I'm gonna make a whole separate video on that monstrosity because wow, there was a lot going on there. So I don't have any more Ides of March suggestions for you. I've got some honorable mentions. My friend said that I had to put the Six of Crows in here, so I'm gonna for you, I'll put the Six of Crows in here. Read the Six of Crows for the Ides of March. I didn't really have any fantasy books in this list, so I'll put some in the honorable mentions. The Six of Crows, you know, it's got a plot, it's got a betrayal, it's got some very murdery vibes, a lot of killing. I'm sure there's some stabbing. So for my friend who said I have to put the Six of Crows in there and I can't leave it out, read the Six of Crows. And then, I mean, who would I be if I didn't recommend the Folk of Air series by Holly Black? I mean, it's got political intrigue, it's got killing, it's got stabbing, it's got betrayal. It has it all. Folk of Air. I mean, it's not really Caesarean at all, but I think you should read it if you haven't yet. And then also, I haven't read Babel yet, but I've been told that Babel would also probably fit the vibe of a Julius Caesar like book list, so I will put Babel in there as well. I've been meaning to get around to it. I don't know why. I feel like there should be way more Julius Caesar retellings. I could not find that many. I went to the bookstore and I asked for like books that gave off Ides of March vibes, and we were really struggling. Oh, another honorable mention I would do is All's Well by Mona Awad. This book is about a theater teacher who is doing the play All's Well That Ends Well. I'm halfway through it and I like it so far. It's not super Caesarean, but it could work. We can allow it, so it's in the honorable mentions. But yeah, I went to my bookstore and I was like, I'm looking for books that give off Julius Caesar Ides of March vibes, and we were so stuck. So if you guys have any recommendations, would love to hear them. Also, why aren't there more retellings? I feel like a Caesarean plot would be such a good start for like a great heavy betrayal, dark academic, friends to enemies book. And yet I could not find anything. So, I mean, any writers out there watching this, I am not good at writing, but someone should really write up a wonderful Julius Caesar retelling, because I think it would be really good and I would read it so hard. I would promote it so much. For the Ides of March, read about some people dying. Should be fun. So that's what I've got for you guys for the Ides of March. It's a small list, but it's a doable list, you know? It's not 20 books, so you can absolutely read it within the next few weeks before the Ides of March. I'm excited. I'm going back to Chicago to go hang out with my friends and dress up in fun costumes, because I make a costume for it every year. That's what I've got for you guys today. If you guys have any recommendations on books you feel really embody the Ides of March vibes, be sure to let me know and I will read them and add them to my list for next year. But that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and I'll see you on the flippity flop. Peace, peace.